everybody, and welcome to the Garden, Quilt, and Art Show, where good friends become family, and family is everything. I see. Thanks, all of you, for the thumbs up. I went back to give myself a thumbs up, and I really don't need, yeah, I do need this on. My Renaissance Grandma, starting from the bottom, moving up. Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Don't know if I said Crafty Leo, Maria Graham. Dolores is in the back. She started that little music. Let's see. And the Big Rooster came through. I appreciate each and every one of you. For those of you who are in the bushes, I appreciate you. Those on the replay, I appreciate you. I will tell you guys about the quilt in back of me in a minute because I changed it for Juneteenth, which is June 19th, a federal holiday celebrating the end of slavery when news of the Emancipation Proclamation reached Texas. So, this is, by the way, an original quilt that I made the story up. It's a type of a code quilt that they would have had back in those days. This one is in African fabrics, and I have another one exactly like it in genuine batiks. I will tell you about it in just a second. I'll give more people a chance to come in. How many? Oh, I saw you, Crafty Leo, with your little maters, your maters in the garden, and all the stuff. She's trying to claim that new gardener status so she could get some sympathy. No sympathy. Just put on your big girls and go out there. It's like on your resume. If you did it one time you can put it on there. So your tomato plants are actually pretty big. They look really good. Yes, she said she's growing some things. Some things. How many of you are growing things that you can use for artworks? For example, I want to show you a photo. I'm going to put this down on my little lap and not trying to show my little legs. So, this is a photo of me in, I want to say, 2001, 2003. And I was teaching an arts and craft class for this group on my t shirt. You'll see my t shirt in a minute. The International Festival of Arts and Ideas, which is the biggest art show in the summer on the East Coast. That was Auntie Ellen 20 years ago. And what I was doing was teaching a gourd decorating class. This is where you grow gourds and you dry them out. I taught them how to clean the gourds, what to clean them with to make sure there was no mold. You use kind of a copper scrubby, a little bit of bleach in the water. You clean them out, dry them out. And they were using little bits of paper and tissue and wrapping paper to decorate the. Let me put it back so that you can see it. So that you can see it, and different types of finishes, shells, beads. Even then, I was passing out fabric. You could tell this is an old photo. Oh, by the way, and this photo, I was actually teaching a community class out on the street, and we were using 5-gallon buckets to sit on. And the neighbors in that community came out, and I was showing them how to decorate the gourds. Those of you who have gourds, I personally cut these, and I had somebody helping me. These gourds, you can use gourds for drinking. back in the days when people didn't have utensils, poor people, slaves, they used, there's even a song about a drinking gourd. Some of the gourds I had cut into the tops cut off used for bowls. I used the other half to make masks and we decorated them. So I just wanted to let you know that. Oh, and we made birdhouses. I don't have, these were called birdhouse gourds. And I was actually a member of the North Carolina Gourd Society. Oh, the International Festival of Arts and Ideas. I've been a member and contributor for the, like I said, the last 25 years. Yankee sister, my sister, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to thank the moderators. I want to check. Ah, I want to thank the channel members, the subscribers, and just everybody who, even the people at work who put me on in the background. A lot of you, I watch your shows during the day, at night, because I have a vision impairment and I go and turn off the bright lights. I don't use the ring lights because it does something to my eyes. So I just wanted to let you know, Darth X, a smoke detector needs a new battery. You are right. You are right. I knew that it did, and I just haven't called maintenance to have it done. Darth X, you heard that all the way in Canada. Bless your heart. I keep forgetting. I've like tuned it out. So I wanted to talk about that in the garden. Oh, now I'm paying attention.
See, have we changed the drop link or is it still the same, the GQuat?
It's still the same so far, unless you changed it, Dolores. I'm
It's still
going to.
exclamation
I
G.
honestly I can't remember. Try it and see. Okay, so I'm sorry, you guys. Excuse me. So people are speaking to Darth. I'll wait until about 4:15 to talk about the quilts. Now I can hear it. But one thing I want to tell you about something that I grew, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick. Thank you. I saw you chatting and driving. I've been watching you. Oh, what I was going to tell you all is that I'm working, I'm creating, and I watch your videos on TV. I watch it without my glasses. I can't see the chat. And then I go back. But I want to show you something. I had 3 visitors this weekend. I always say good friends become family, and family is everything. I had 3 niece daughters come and spend the night on Saturday from the DMV, and I have known them since the 2 younger ones were born, and the elder one is about a year older than my brother. I met her in, I want to say, 1968. So they were the nieces of my husband's best friend. Well, they like coming over my house. They've been together. They used to spend weekends and everything. So now they're like my niece daughters, even though we don't share DNA. So they came over. So now that chirping's going to annoy me now that I'm paying attention to it. So I think I have not changed my link yet. Exclamation mark GQUAT to drop your channel name and to connect with others and other channels you may not know. I want to talk about something that I grew, and my Renaissance grandma sending me more goodies next week that she came across. Yankee sister can't. chat individually, but she got her hands in the dirt. I'm paying somebody tomorrow to help me in the dirt. But what this is, you guys, for those of you who are making fermented garlic, this is homegrown garlic that I harvested last year. It was about September, October, and I put it in some local honey. I put it in a dark place. I gave some of my niece daughters some of my dried things. When I go over there, you'll see that a lot of my orange slices dehydrated. I gave away oregano, thyme. They had already visited my community garden before they even came into the apartment, and they were trying to identify the different things I had there. Oh, we see your blueberries, but where are your asparagus? Right now my asparagus are only ferns. It's still cool here in Connecticut, but this is when you ferment your garlic long enough, it turns this dark, dark, dark color, darker than molasses, darker than molasses. And it's supposed to be healthy. Hope I don't get sticky all over me because I'm going to open it. Nikki thinks she's the only one tasting her food live or in here. I'm trying not to dump the whole thing. You know, I'm famous for dropping stuff. So, what I do is I get a teaspoon every day, a fresh teaspoon. I can't hold it sideways, but maybe you can see it. And I take a clove of garlic and some of the juice of the honey. Mm. I don't want to talk with food in my mouth, my food in my mouth. So, and you chew the whole thing up. I want to give you a description. It's crunchy, and it has absorbed some of the sweetness from the honey, but it's not overly sweet. It'll wash it down with some water. So this should be healthier than taking an antibiotic or other store-bought stuff. And as you see, this was a whole quart jar. So I gave one of my niece daughters, we were sharing different things, health remedies, and this is a whole quart. There's a lot of garlic in here. I gave one of them a whole pint. What I think I'll do next time is get some. I saw Hudson, I think it was, getting 1/4 quart jars so that I can share it with more people and, uh, give more away and have more testers. So, well, that made me blink though. I can still taste the garlic. Put it on chicken. I don't think it'll be strong enough to go on chicken, and I don't want to waste it because when you heat honey, you take away the healing aspects of it. Big Rooster Show saying, "What's up, everybody? K Renee's Garden." What? Oh, I saw you in one of the chats today. Something I was doing, but I just wanted to let you know that I do grow. I'm a little slow this year because of the surgery and the knee replacement, but I will catch up because I do have. And one of the first things my niece daughters wanted to know was what's over there by the arrow garden. There's some of the peppers that outgrew the. Feels like I want to like slobber on myself. I can taste the garlic in my nose that Mike's Chaotic Gardening sent me. And when they outgrew the top of the light of the arrow garden, I put them in soil. Then when I pinched them down to about 7 or 8 inches, so they're really, really thick. Then I bought some basil starts from a local nursery. One day I was coming home from getting my hair washed and conditioned, and I have rotator cuff issues. So I went to the shop and had it washed, and I accidentally ended up in the nursery. So I bought 48 plants, and they're little by little getting put out there. Famous at Rooted in Essential Oils. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Rachel, Unbiased LLC, almost lost alive because she was out working. Oh, and I meant ask her, don't think, my queen, that I didn't see that lavender tape measure you have around your neck. Every time I'm in the woods and the bushes, and look at your live, I'm like, where did she get that? She knows I need that in my life. Deborah Garrett. And hello to anybody that I didn't see to speak to. I'm trying to stay on point and to remind you to do what you love and love what you do. You know, cooking is an art, that's a culinary art. They have a lot of the schools here in Connecticut are getting out and graduating, and I wanted to. My granddaughter's stepson graduated some time ago. He's in a class at one of the community colleges. He didn't want to take academic classes. He's taking up a trade. There's a trade called advanced, oh my gosh, advanced something, and you're working in studios with lab coats on, and after that the young people graduate. They graduate making 50,000 a year, 70,000 in 2 years, for like electric boat company, working for the submarine companies. Deborah Carrot, I don't know if I said hello to you. And just amazing amounts of money and no debt. No debt. They can get grants to go to the community colleges. And I just want to say that growing things, another friend of mine who's not quite as old as me helps me in my garden. She's getting her master gardening certificate. I have pictures of her in the garden, and she will be coming and helping me. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. This, in honor of Juneteenth, I took it out. It's long arm quilted. It took me 2 years to make this quilt and the twin quilt, which I will show you in a minute. And it was a labor of love. This one I made with authentic all African fabrics, and it tells a different story than any other Underground Railroad code quilt ever. And the reason is I made up my own story. And this is actually a museum quality quilt. Why do I say that? Because I took my time. The quilters, you're not supposed to let the point of your stars touch the squares. You see, I took my time and made each one so it fit perfectly. And you can't see the bottom of it. I will I will show it. It's actually on my website, ARD. Thank you. Success is loving who you are, what you do, and loving how you do it. Shout out to I Bring It for the reminder. I appreciate that. And before I go to the quilt, I want to show you some little things because they'll be they'll be knocked over when I start pulling things out. This is a Father's Day gift.
I think
Yes.
I'm biased. Ask the question: how do you get the batting in the middle to fit the quilt?
Okay. The batting in the middle does not fit the quilt. When you're making your quilt sandwich, You put your bottom down. I'll have to do a, maybe we can do it with maybe a coaster or something small. And what you do is you put your backing down, and you put, let me show you this. Okay.
See, while you looking for your, you want me to hit the
I'm
mic,
not,
Trina?
no, 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 no. Because I'll see, I'll forget, because I'm jumping back and forth, and I wanted to try to stay on track so I could show them the lesson for today. So unbiased, you see this? This is a piece back. I'm trying not to get it in my lipstick. So sewed pieces I sewed pieces of fabric together, and I put this with, like you say, the pretty side out. So I placed that down, okay? Then I put batting. This is going to be a show batting, so I use polyester to make it light. So this is a very thin batting, so it won't be heavy when I go to show it. So the batting comes next, okay? Then I put the top down, but the batting sticks out more than the backing. The backing is bigger than the large of the backing is larger than the back of the quilt. Then I put the batting larger than the back of the quilt. Why? Because when I place my quilt on top, I quilted this with a long arm machine. I used to teach long arm quilting. I'll have to show you guys one day. I have a video of my studio with my like 35 different machines in there, and I used to teach quilting and other arts and crafts. So, hello to Growing with Hudson, anybody that I did not see. So, then after you've done your quilting, whether it's stitching in the ditch, whether it's just meandering is a way of just moving your machine around with or without a walking foot. After you do all that, you lay this flat on a table, and that big ruler that you bought, that expensive ruler that's 8.5 inches by 24 inches, that's what you put down, and you line it up with the borders, and you trim the excesses off to make it even, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I'll go back to the quilt in just one second, because I want to show you a man bag for the gentlemen. There are a lot of gentlemen that come into the live, and I don't think that we do. This is gender neutral. This bag can be used for anybody. It just happens that a guy asked me to make him a bag, and I did. He asked for a cross shoulder bag, and he didn't want a big one. He didn't want one as big as a backpack. So what this is a half of a pair of camo shorts. This guy was really tall, like 6'2". You see the cross shoulder, right? And I would have made it bigger because, like I said, he is a big guy, so it's over his stomach. And this is how I design. This is my own original design. So these were camo pants, and instead of making something foo-foo that I knew he wouldn't like, or his wife, I took some webbing, tied a knot, and this is how he can fasten it as much as he wants, like a duffel bag, or leave it open. So then the pockets on this one, and I'm showing you now because it's a Father's Day gift, and I don't know if it will be delivered before the Saturday live. So this pocket is an inside pocket. It's pretty big in case he wants to like drop something in it without opening all these other pockets that I've secured. So this one, I actually sewed a loop. How did I make the loop? You know how you cut those of you who are deboning jeans, when you cut the seams out or some of the cuffs of the pants, you save those. And this one is already a little bit stretchy. So I know I'm biased. Is there like a chicken hawk and taking pictures? So this is already sewed onto here. And by Saturday, I will put a black button on here so that in case he slips and falls, he might be climbing Dunn's River Falls in Jamaica with Lashes Journey or something. This one will stay closed. This pocket, because they're cargo pants, you hear it, already opens up. So what else tricky did Auntie Ellen do to this bag? This side pocket is very, very deep. Very deep. I could probably put this bottle of water in there. Yeah, it does. You see this? I would love to have this myself, but it's already promised. Almost homesteading with Janet. Thank you for coming. So this would fit in here. Then there is a back pocket. A back pocket. I use the way these jeans were, these camo pants. So this one, just to do something different, I made this one with a little tie. A little tie so that you can put something in this pocket and it won't fall out. It won't fall out. I sewed this one with white thread because I couldn't see the black on black on black. So, what else did I do? Okay, I put my label in there. On the inside, it has a hard bottom made out of the needlepoint plastic and some batting. And I made this light because I figured if he put something black in it, he wouldn't be able to see it all. So this is a half of a pair of camo cargo pants. And as you see, it's square on the bottom. So this is going to be a surprise Father's Day gift for somebody in town who will be picking it up. And then again, this can be just left open to drop anything in, or it can be tied and thrown over his shoulder. Some of you runners, long distance runner, like my Renaissance dad, could use a bag like this. And let me know, sir, because I still have the other half of those jeans and I really would like to have a bag for myself. A bag for myself. So, does anybody have any questions about the camo bag? I'm not calling it a man bag because it's for anyone. I am going to make one for myself because I just like the way that it came out. I just like the way that it came out. And Rachel, unbiased, it's similar to the one that you made on my live, except these were a pair of. I'm going to actually do this Saturday because I'm going to work on another one. I have the other half of this pair of pants, and by then I'll have the buttons on, and this bag can go anywhere. You preppers, you can. It's a light bag to go across that you can take almost anywhere. So, does anybody have any questions about this bag? Well, my next thing that I'm going to do for show and tell before I get to the Underground Railroad code quilt in the back of me, I want to show you guys. When I say you guys, that's just a Yankee thing. You guys, y'all. It's the same as, yes, it's the same as saying y'all. You guys. And Casings 55, thank you. Thank you for coming. So, the denim quilt that I've been making over the last month. And this quilt, every single block was hand cut. The denim was cut from old jeans. The shirt fabric was cut from shirts. So you couldn't lay it down and cut it with a rotary cutter. Each one had to be cut by hand. So I use those handy dandy scissors. So this is ready to use, guys. So this is ready to go out for Father's Day. It's already been washed, fringed, and I want you guys to see what it looks like. It's going to elder, a religious elder, and I just wanted to show you that in the back has all colors of denim, except for there are 3 blocks in white made out of the shirt. Let me put it down some so that you could see all of the blocks. I'll show you the back because this was a labor of love. And this is a religious gentleman, and the 3 blocks that are different when he's under it and it faces him stand for the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, for because he is religious. Now I want to show you, and it's a heavy quilt. I don't know if you guys know what a weighted blanket is. I'll put my earplug in case Dolores wants to tell me something and I'm missing it. A weighted blanket is something that's used for therapy for people with, say, a traumatic brain injury, for comfort. You think that side with the little fringes would be amazing for. That's exactly what this is, Janet. It is a mixed use blanket. It is a weighted blanket as well as a fidget quilt. For those of you who don't know what a fidget quilt, they have seniors and young people who need a fidget quilt for the sensory thing. So some of these blocks I sewed pieces together. So even this is fringed. Some of the blocks I intentionally put in, and they have pockets on them. Some of them I made to look like a shirt, and I resewed the buttons on. Actually made this block for this elder. This is the correct side up, Janet. This is the correct side. And I didn't make little fringes. It takes more fabric. Like these started out as 9.5 inch square. And there's about an inch and a half on each side. So each square is 3 inches smaller. And then you wash it. I usually wash them 3 times, but I washed this one once and scented it because it's going in the mail. And it can also be rolled. Uh, when it goes to the recipient, it will need to be washed separately for a few times. Crafty Leo's so fancy and neat. She's always with her roller making sure there's no lint on it. So that's exactly what this is, Janet. I made the big fringe, and then you see a lot of people. I see a lot of people in their chat. They're fidgeting. They're fidgeting with their hair. They're rubbing on their robe. They're pulling their hair. That's a form of fidgeting. It is a form of fidgeting. People that have a pet. You see Lead Farmer and Lady Lead with that little puppy, and they're always rubbing it. So I don't think this person has a puppy. This is the same as rubbing a pet, as rubbing Mr. Hershey. So this was a labor of love, and I made more than one block that looks like a shirt with buttons on it. I made this block, and it's all just a minute, you guys. Dolores, can you put the be right back? Unfortunately, somebody's knocking at my door. Mute. Just a minute. Okay, I'm back. Hi, everybody. Thank you for waiting. I apologize for that. One of my neighbors is so kind, a gentleman that lives in another floor. I had some Amazon packages accidentally delivered, and some groceries that I had delivered that's sitting outside my door on ice with those big silver mylar bags. And by the way, Gina, I haven't been able to go to the post office yet this week. I had a little boo boo last week. I was at physical therapy for my knee replacement, and somebody else was walking with a 40-pound kettlebell and accidentally walked into my replaced knee. So I've been doing extra therapy, getting extra x-rays, and going to take care of my health in the morning. And then in the afternoons, the lines are too long in the line. Barb Brownlee says, beautiful. Oh, yeah. So back to this quilt. Whoa. So these shirts were actually dress shirts that I wore to work in the days when I was working. I cut them up live. Janet, you see this one? This one is like a fidget pocket. When I was recovering from a traumatic brain injury 10 years ago, I made a memory quilt out of my dad's old clothes, and the kids, my great grandkids, would put little notes in the pocket. Or Halloween, they put pieces of candy or my TV remote so that I could find it, because at that time I was also legally blind. Look at this block, you guys. This is so many pieces of deboned quilt fabric scraps that I sewed back together. So then, just to give it some dimension artistically, I found some fabric that was like the camo that I loved, and I put that in here. So the blue shirt was one of my Ralph Lauren dress shirts that I wore to work, as was this pinstripe one, as was this one, and then I put some fancy boutique at a store in Arizona, and that's what I put in this quilt. And I made the fringe extra large. Extra large. So, Mike says, welcome back. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes. And my neighbor he does get little things like when I make masks, he got some in his favorite color, red, key fobs, other things when I make a neck bone pillow. By the way, my niece daughters fell in love with the neck bone pillows, and a couple of them ordered them. They want pocket the pocket crossbody bag, and we did all that. We did um, a detailed garden tour. Do I have it on tape? No. Why? Because we went outside at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning to walk Mr. Hershey, and we had on. They slept in shorts and a t-shirt. I slept in leggings and a top, and we went outside. We didn't have any pockets. We didn't have any pockets. That's why I'm making the crossbody bag so that we can at least have our cell phone. We had one set of keys between the four of us, and one came in like to use the bathroom in the lobby. One went to put something in her car. So, yeah, that's what we did over the weekend. We had a great weekend, and they taught me something new. One of them, the one that I'm 9 years older than, is still at work. She said they need to make leggings with pockets. They do. They do, but I just never bought any. I just buy these comfort ones. And you know what? The leggings with the pockets, when you put heavy stuff, because I don't wear tight leggings. I wear mine kind of loose, couple sizes too big. They're just like loose baggy pants. They make your pants fall down. Uh you see some people in their gardens doing videos, and more than the crack of dawn is showing. I don't want to do that. So I sometimes put them in my bra. That's not supposed to be done. I wear long shirts. My shirts are down to the middle of my thigh, but 2X, but I still I still don't. The couple pairs that I have with pockets is more than the crack of dawn is showing. Yes, and then some people, I guess they go live without looking at their videos. They're showing a lot. So now to go back to let me see if there's any little things down that I wanted to show you. So, the story of the Underground Railroad is a story about slavery. Whether you were for slavery or against it, it happened. And this is an example of an Underground Railroad code quilt that people would take in order, say, if they were trying to escape. And people of all races like it. It's just a symbolic quilt. This is a book that's written that most people follow this story, and it says the monkey wrench, and that's the name of a block called a monkey wrench, turns the wagon wheel, which would be the type. My story is different. I do have a monkey wrench actually, turns the wagon wheel. And then this book says towards Canada. The fact of the matter is that you weren't truly free until you got to Canada. With help from Jesus the Carpenter, that's a different kind of a block called a carpenter square. This one, I didn't put that in my quilt. And it said follow the bear's trail. That's a hard one to make. And looks like a bear paw. And you don't get through the woods. You fill your baskets with enough food and supplies to get you to the crossroads. This is symbolic of a crossroads where you dig a log cabin in the ground. And Shewfly told us to dress up in cotton and satin bow ties, follow the flying geese and birds in the air, stay on the drunkard's path so you don't get caught, take the sailboat across the Great Lakes to Canada. And I actually do have a sailboat here, and I don't have the kind of a star that they have. I have a different star, as you see, but my fabrics were so nice. These African fabrics, I hate, and my batiks, I hate cutting them in tiny little pieces. So I made blocks that had big squares. Like you see these? This is actually a bow tie. This is a bow tie turned this way. This is a bow tie. So this is just Auntie Ellen's story. And now I will show you the quilt that is exactly like it because I wanted to be able to lend one of them to museums. And here's my story. My story is the monkey wrench, and then there's a story legend block. Each block tells a different story. Turns the wagon wheel, on a bear's paw, on a snail's trail path, I put, and then the North Star, take a boat across the lake. So that's Auntie Ellen's story. And this one, let me show you. This one I did with like purple and green and blue batiks and gold. And this one is also, I machine quilted it. I worked on these for 2 years. You see the snail's trail? I thought the snail's trail in green was really pretty. And you see a different kind of a boat. So, in honor of Juneteenth, I made myself get it out so I could put the bindings on it. I machine sew my bindings on the front and then I hand sew all of my exhibit quilts onto the back by hand so that you cannot see it. So, whew, that's the story of the quilts. Oops, I don't want to wrinkle this bag that's going out for Father's Day. So, do any of you have any questions? We're going to go over and work on our project for today. And if any of you has an old shoebox, some glue, the men's shoe boxes are good because I guess their shoes are heavier, and or the sneaker boxes or the basketball sneakers, they're bigger and they're really heavy, and they make good covered baskets. So this is going to be a project with no sewing involved, to make a beautiful, using scraps of fabric, to make a beautiful, here are the supplies. Thank you, Dolores. Fabric scraps. You can use colored paper or old magazine covers or all three. You need some scissors, glue, a sturdy box, optional Mod Podge, or a sealer of your choice. So I'm going to go over there, and I had a couple pieces of fabric. Let me see if I can do all this. I should be able to do a balancing act. So I'm doing gazillions of squats in therapy with weights. I'm using like 50-pound weights. Now, why is that? You guys can see the plants in my window. You see other art on my design wall over there. Those are actually art quilts. So, this is going to be functional art. I have over here a box of fabric scraps. Do you need these many scraps? No way, no how. But these are scraps that I've been collecting, that I wanted to make a special quilt for my mom. Hello, Mother. Hope you're listening. I showed my mother a channel that is based in the DMV, and it's called Senior Hand Dancing. But they play all that old school music, like Bayou Sugar plays late at night at the Sugar Shack, Big Roost in them. They be singing those songs and having fun. Just a bunch of channels, just fun, fun, fun. So, what I was looking for when I was making all of these pocket quilts, when I was cutting up these jeans to make the quilt that you just saw, the rag quilt, which took a lot more fabric than it looked like because each seam has 3 inches of fabric. It also adds to the weight and the jeans. So I cut all the pockets off and saved them. I did them a certain way, and I have the pockets to make bags. I have a list of bags, including one for myself, because I don't take my phone outside with me because my phone is kind of a clunky phone. It's an iPhone 14. I don't know whether it's heavy because it has 250 megs of memory in it or what. I had no idea when I ordered it. You know, you have to order it and pay for it, and then they send it to you. Or, you know, you go to the Apple store and pick it up. But this phone is extremely heavy. It's very, very uncomfortable. So it's a problem. But I don't mind carrying it across my shoulder. So I had all these pockets and I was looking for them, and I said I should have one container just dedicated to pockets. So I was scooching around, and something I was supposed to return one time, and I decided to keep it. And I had this really sturdy box, this heavy duty box, and it fastened. It had some flaps that went in here. I cut those off because I'm not going to use that, and all this interior. So I said I wanted to use the box to store my pockets in, but the box is ugly. I Even with alcohol and goo gone, I couldn't get these off. Maybe by now it's coming off. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. I tried everything, but that's not a problem because we are going to put more glue and some fabric on here, and then it's going to take some time to dry. You can speed up the drying. You can speed up the drying by using a heat gun. I didn't really want to use a heat gun on glue or Mod Podge or Mod Podge. So I put a paper towel down here, and I know that this is a really, really heavy piece. Can you see how thick this fabric is? It's some of my African fabric, and it's just beautiful. But I wanted to cover up the writing. Also wanted to keep the part that shows that it was authentic. So I'm going to use, if it hasn't dried out, some of this original tacky glue. I use this on some of my beads and some other things. I have some brushes. You can use temporarily a glue stick. You can use Mod Podge. There are a hundred ways of doing this. This is the way I chose. There's no right way. There's no wrong way. I'm glad you like this, Unbiased, because this is in your bag. You use that beautiful fabric in the bag that you're sending me. So I took this out so that I could put it in your, and I'm not telling you what kind of a bag. I'm keeping that part. But this is going in your bag, my dear. Barbara Brownlee says she loves that piece of African fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this here, and just to do something different. And I didn't want the edges to be like all rough. It's a shame to cut this fabric like this, but I want to be able to look at it and enjoy it forever. Unbiased says, you've done this with tissue paper and magazine clippings. Yes, that's what I said earlier, Janet. You can use tissue paper, you can use wrapping paper, you can use old magazines. Dolores, can you put the list back up for her so that she can see it? and you use whatever you have. I wanted you to use some of this fabulous fabric. And okay, see the color paper, magazine covers? Oh, oops. Glue, fabric strips, Mod Podge. Okay. Sealer of your choice. I will use another one. And the sturdy box. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. Use whatever you have. I need some strong hands. My hands are not strong. So let's see if the glue will come out of where it's supposed to. Let's see, because I'm actually going to put Mod Podge on it afterwards. So that's not working, or it's kind of dried out. I can't get the top off. I didn't think to try that earlier, but hold on, you guys. Hold on, because I'm a coming. Hold on. So I'll put the pin back there. That didn't work. And I know I have different kinds of glue. So because I'm actually going to use Mod Podge and this really thick fabric, I knew it was going to take a long time to dry out. My hair dryer even broke. I used my blow dryer for my hair before I did it like this for my hair and also for Mr. Hershey's hair. And I was giving Mr. Hershey a bath on Sunday and my dryer broke. But that's okay because another one just came and that's what the neighbor was delivering. So I'm just putting enough glue on here to hold it down and stick it because I'm actually going to put Mod Podge on here. And I have some really pretty fabrics that I'm going to use. I want to put this somewhere strange. And the Mod Podge is actually going to decoupage and hold the whole thing down. So that didn't even cover that whole piece. Now I have another piece of fabric that I just love. There is an Australian fabric designer named Kafe Fassett. And this is a piece of his fabric. So what I'm going to do is cut out a piece. So I'm just going to take pieces of fabric and basically cover this box and decoupage it. So I'm going to, because I like, instead of like when you're tearing paper and you get the thick edges, so that I don't get the thick edges, I'm actually using my pinking shears or zigzag shears, whatever you want to call them. Different strokes for different strokes. And again, use whatever you have. I just kind of have everything because I've been doing arts and crafts for so long. And I kind of like the way this looks, but I'm going to just cut it out and do something different. So I made this end look like this. And I made this end look like this. If anybody has a shoebox, does anybody out there have a box and some glue and any of those things that we listed, and you'd like to come up live with me and do it, how about you, Ms. Crafty Leo, or Almost Homesteading with Janet, or Unbiased LLC, Mike's Chaotic Gardening, Maria? We can drop the link if anybody will come up. Show us what you're working on, though, because I want to stay on topic because there are other people coming on live later on. And see, like this curve, I have a lot of I have a lot of these boxes that different family members have purchased for me to store stuff in because I live in a tiny house. It's not a house, it's actually an apartment. And I have a lot of stuff that is in here. So I have to make it all work. So here's this pretty piece of fabric. And I'm just using plain Elmer's glue just to hold it down a little bit because I'm going to go back over it. I just want to hold it in place. And I'm going to cover the whole part with Elmer's glue and with something else that I will put. I actually like this way. Oh, I almost covered up the numbers I was trying to save. Oh, that was the edge of this little pointy thing. I could feel that under there. So, my wife is on anti-cardboard crusade. Cuts up, recycles as soon as it gets delivered. I had this one under the bed, hidden to do something else with it, and I don't even want to show you. I don't even want to show you the cardboard that I have because I have two tin beds that I got for this summer, and I'm waiting for somebody to put them together for me in my community garden. And maybe tomorrow it'll get done, but tomorrow we have a meeting to at least get the beds cleaned out. It's a great undie though. Let me finish pouring my salve into containers and find supplies. Then Janet will hop up here. Okay. And anybody can do this. This will be fun. This will be fun. I invite all of you to come up. So, let's see. You can see what I've been working on lately. This weird piece, I think I'll put over here to cover. Well, maybe I'll cut it in pieces because it's an angle, and I really love this fabric. I wanted to cut it up as little. When you buy this beautiful fabric, these batiks are hand dyed, hand printed. I like to show them. Okay, so this is fun, you guys. You need coffee. You can't type. Okay, so all I'm doing is adhering this a little bit because the entire cover is going to be sealed with Mod Podge. So Dolores, this looks like some of your pink, ma'am, because I've been working on some of your stuff lately. So I probably won't cover. Oh, this is the thing about batiks that I love about batiks and African fabrics. You see this side? You see this side? It's hard to tell which is the front. Uh, Unbiased said she would working. She's working. Otherwise, she would come up. That's okay. That's okay. Another time when you can. I know what time of day it is where most of you are, and I respect the fact that you're even here. I'm just putting this pink because it's cute. And I'm overlapping it. And what else do I have in here? Oh, how about this? And this is not supposed to be matchy matchy. So this little cute piece of fabric was a gift from Psalm 146. And I actually asked her if I could use it in some artwork. And she said yes. She said yes. So I'm going to cut around some of these cherries. And this piece is actually hemmed. So I saw Gina harvesting some fabulous cherries in her yard. One of my neighbors has a cherry tree in the community garden, and he's got his covered with that netting. So what I'm doing is just cutting around some of the flowers just to give it some shape or just to make it interesting. And I needed to cut off this hem anyway. So I'll have to tag Psalm 146 so that you can see I'm using this beautiful fabric. So I'm going to put a bit of it. I have different kinds of glue. I have the Elmer's, the big thing as well. I have other glues. But why get up and do that? Oops, I got glue over there. I didn't mean to. I just want to make it pretty before I put my my jeans in. I could even paint the box. I could have painted it first. That's too much like right? So this little piece is actually overlapping. No problemo. Pop goes the weasel. And away with you. And away with you. So I'm calling this functional art because I'm using what I have. Oh, and why? Just because I like leopard. I think I'll cut him out. Are you guys having fun? Are you guys having fun? We're just simply covering a box with scrap fabric and to make it look pretty because I actually need it to store something in. So, this is what I do. I'm bringing you guys along on whatever I need to do this week. I needed to get that quilt finished for Father's Day. It won't get there unless I send it overnight, but I'll check with the person who's getting it and see if that's what they want me to do, or certainly priority mail because I don't want anything to happen to it. One time I sent GT Junior Grows in Alaska a fabric postcard, and it was a nice postcard, a really nice one. And I make them individually by hand, and he never got it. It just disappeared. And of course,
Yellen,
yes.
you have a $3 super sticker from Big Rooster.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to dance. I dance for dollars. We get money and they get the honey. Yeah, baby. Oh, the music stopped. Oh, what was I doing? Okay. Thank you, Big Rooster. Thanks, all of y'all. Garlic honey. Yes, any kind of honey, any kind of honey. I have a lot of honey. I like honey. I haven't been able to get any from any of our family of honey people that have bees because the shipping is so darn expensive. I would love to get it from some of you who have channels, but alas, I'm on a fixed budget and it ain't in the budget. Excuse my grammar, mom, my English. So I'm just putting this up here, and it's a fabric collage. Let me just stick this little bit down. And I have a matte finish that I will show you guys. I will lit in list the thing. So this is what the top looks like so far. And this just I had the blues one time when I was young. I think it was for my 40th birthday. I was about to be 40 and I was boo-hooing because I wasn't rich yet. I'd planned to be a millionaire. A millionaire. A billionaire. No, I didn't want to be a billionaire, only a millionaire. And I just felt like a failure that day. So my sister said, "Do you remember when you were boohooing?" I'm like, "Yep, I remember it. I remember it." So, oh, here's a pretty piece. Oh, this came out of Dolores's quilt. I think I'll put that on there too. All these little cute little pieces, Dolores, are from your quilt. So I'm just cutting random pieces. Let me see if I see some bigger ones. Look, here's a piece from the Father's Day quilt that I just showed you guys. So oh, you know what? Do you guys notice something? All of this fabric is ironed. Once I hate to iron. When I iron fabric, I put it in bags, I put it in boxes, I put it in whatever I have to do so that I don't have to re-iron it before I use it. Oh, here's an interesting piece. You gardeners, you see this? All this is ironed inside the plastic bag. Ooh, look at these pretty peppers. So, I think I'll put a piece there. I have a piece there. I think I'll put some blue up here somewhere. Just because it's fun. Okay, what else is in this pile? Oh, this is a cute little pack. Maybe I'll take a piece of this, not all of it. And see, this was a piece of a strip of an actual quilt. You could see how small it was where I had sewn it. Here's another bright piece. So this, for those of you who get down in the dumps or whatever, you can't use your hands to do something creative and be depressed at the same time. This is so therapeutic. This is a pretty piece that's not going in there. It's called basil. It's a piece of raw African fabric. It looks like satin, but it's not going in here because I think it will absorb too much of the glue. Oh, look here. Looky here. Here's a piece of kente cloth. Oh, this is fun. Mike's the pepper guy. Yes. Yes, 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 y'all. So let's talk about who's going live tonight. I know, I know Miss Shirley, the OG gardener, is going live. You see how I'm putting this back in here, you guys? Oh, here's a piece, a long piece that I might be able to use as a tie for one of the bags I'm making, one of the shoulder bags. Oh, here's a pretty bright piece of batik. Maybe I'll put you over here, some kind of way in the corner. So that's what you do. I'm using scraps that I actually have. These were going to go in a quilt, and guess what? They still are. I guess this was something. Oh, Moda. Moda is a manufacturer of quilting fabrics, nice quilting fabrics. So some of this in here was Moda. This is actually a lot of fabric. Oh, Crafty Leo will be live tonight in a few minutes. Well, you guys, let me know what time she goes live and we'll go over there.
I feel like
Yes.
not right now.
Oh, okay. So I will wait until about 20 minutes so that I can do my outro. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you who came over. And Crafty Leo supports this channel. I would like to support her channel. So if you guys would join me and tell her that Auntie Ellen is coming and ask you all to join me over there. And do you have the link for her channel? Is there anyone who can drop the link for her channel? Oh, Miss Shirley OG is sick. She's not going on tonight. Oh, okay. So 8 o'clock, I think Vision Preparedness, Garden State Gardener is going on. 9 o'clock, Odom. So just do the best you can. Most of us have more than one device. You can watch more than one channel at a time. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Do what you love and love what you do. Peace, love, and blessing. Tori's Brain, thank you for coming and welcome. Oh, Tori's Brain, when I had my niece daughters here this weekend, we played Connect Four, we played Left Center Right, we played other games. Oh, and guess what, you guys? They introduced me to CBD oil. My leg was hurting over there on the side. I put it on and it stopped hurting. I stopped hurting. I'm going to have to get me some of that. Get me some of that. And she said that she got it online. So it's not illegal, even though in Connecticut I could easily get a license because of my glaucoma. So I'd like to, if you haven't, hit the like button. If you like the content here, please subscribe. Turn on the bell so that you get notified when we go live again. Hold on, you guys. Peace, love, and blessings. Egawamote. I love you, Mother. Not Maria. Thank you, all of you moderators. Can you, Dolores, please play the outro?